So we'll start with the new topic, that is consignment. New topic, the name of the topic is consignment. Okay. Alright, so I think it did come when we did inventory topic. There was one thing about consignment. I think I must have given you a small example about that also. No worries. I don't know how many of you remember that, but I'll just give you another example. Just explain you how this consignment works. Sir, let's say there is a company known as A Limited. Or let's maybe take a more realistic example, which happens normally. Let's say there is one company known as Cipla Limited. They're a pharmacy company. Many of you must be using their products. Alright. Sir, normally, Cipla will have one or two manufacturing units. Meaning they will have one or two factories in some location of India. Maybe normally all this pharmaceutical company, majority they'll have one in the Himachal Pradesh closer to. That's what I've seen. Okay. Alright. One or two factories they will have. Let's say Cipla has one factory in India from which they are manufacturing all the products and distributing across. Okay. But there are people all over India who use Cipla ka product. Yes. Let's say they produce one tablet, Dolo 650. Yeah, okay. Let's say a Dolo 650 Cipla ka product. I'm not very sure it belongs to them. But anyways, we'll just assume and go ahead with that. Dolo 650 is one product Cipla is manufacturing. Now, most of us, whenever we are not feeling well, okay, normally that's the thing, we only become doctors and we say, hey, take one Dolo 650 and aram se bisneer kudi, yeah, hot water you drink, everything will be over. Yes, no? Yeah, that's what we become self-doctors. Yes. So we do that. That means there are customers all over India who use this product. Now, can Cipla open their sales office all over India? Do you think it's practicable? In Bangalore, 10 sales office. In Mysore, one sale office. Like this, they will open thousands of sales office. Will they open? It is practically not easy. Yes, no. Because there will be rent. You have to employ the people. Yeah, the people will quit. So you need to substitute him. There is too much of headache. Yes, managing inventory. Crazy it is. Yes. Hence, not normally what these guys do is, okay, they will sell, they will manufacture. Okay. They will have some agents. They will appoint some agents, selling agents basically. Okay. They will appoint some selling agents. Okay. What Cipla will do is they will transfer or they will send, not sell. They will send their goods. Cipla is the owner of the particular product. Okay. The product belongs to Cipla. So they are the owners of that product. They will send these goods to these selling agents. Okay. And what does the selling agents do? They will sell these product to the customers. It's like Ola. If you're plain and simple example. Now Ola, do you think, or Amazon for that matter. Like Ola example only you take. Now you must have taken Ola Uber rides. Do you think Ola owns all the cars? All the cars which you see Ola logo. Do you think they own all the cars? No, it is just an understanding they have with the driver. What understanding they have? Ola is telling the driver, I will put logo on your car. You run the car under my name. I will give you the orders. I will collect the money from the customer. Some money I will give it to you. Okay. Same funda here also. Fair enough. But that is a slightly different one. Okay. So just to explain, I just give you that example. That's it. Okay. So here, what does the selling agents do is they will sell it to the customers. That's all is their duty. Okay. So why do you think selling agents will do this activity, selling activity at free of cost? No. Obviously, they'll do all this activity for what? For charging commission. Yes, no. For doing this activity, they'll get some incentive. That incentive we call it as commission. Yes, no. So when the selling agent sells the goods to the customer after some time or immediately, they will pay the money to these selling agents. Okay. Goods belongs to whom, sir? Who's the owner of the goods? The owner of the goods is Cipla. Hence, what will happen? Money is with whom now? Money is there with selling agents, no? Does the money belong to selling agent now? No. Let's say customer paid 100 rupees. Okay, one product is sold and the customer paid 100 rupees. Will selling agent keep entire 100 rupees? No. Let's say selling agent ka commission is 10 rupees. Then what will the selling agent do? From this 100 rupees, he will deduct his commission. And if he has incurred any expense, let's say he has incurred 5 rupee expense. Some expense he has incurred. So he will deduct those two. How much remains? 85 rupees. That 85 rupees, he will give it back to Cipla Limited. This is the arrangement of consignment. That's all is the funda of consignment. Basically, there is one owner of the goods. That owner we call it as consignor. Alright. He will send the goods to another party. That other party we call it as consignee. Consignee is basically an agent. Why did the owner give the goods to consignee? So that he can sell the goods to the customer, okay, and then pay the money back to me. Because it's easy to find out agents, no? Like now Ola, if you just say, they're all over India. Why? Because driver can be found all over India, no? It's easy for them. Suppose they bought their own cars. They appointed their own drivers. Was it easy for them to expand so easily? This Zomato, this, you'll be many companies for that matter now. Zomato, Uber, Ola, Swiggy, all, what do? They are just, having an agreement with the contracts. Yes, with the, like Swiggy is having tie-ups with hotel. Whichever person is running the hotel, they will approach them and tell, I will sell the hotel ka product of yours. Fine. Like this, they don't have to open their own hotel. They are doing hotel business, but without opening a single hotel. Hotel somebody is already running. So we have had an understanding with them and they're going on expanding. Okay, that's the reason these companies are expanding so rapidly, because investment is less. The investment they have to invest is only technology investment. That app, they have to invest heavily on that app, because if that app breaks, okay, customer will boo them like anything. So they have to invest heavily on that particular apps. But they don't have to buy any machinery, any building and all this stuff. They don't have to invest in those. Okay, that's the reason they're able to expand it further. Okay, consignment also works on the same basis. See, the owner cannot set up the factory throughout. He cannot set up his office throughout India. But it's easy to appoint selling agents and sell it through them. That way, it's easy to expand. That's the reason these sort of arrangements are entered into. Got it, everyone? Yes, you can say affiliate marketing. Fine. Yes. Done, sir? Any confusion, anybody? Now got the meaning of overall structure is okay now? Okay, that is what I have written in the first thing. So consignment basically is an arrangement between two parties. What are the two parties? It's an arrangement between one party. The name of the one party is consignor. Consignor is the owner of the product. What will the owner do? He will send the goods to another party. That other party we call it as consignee or agent. After receiving these goods, what will the agent do? He will sell the product. For what joy is he selling the products? So that the consignee can sell the goods with an intention to earn a commission. Okay, so that way it's a win-win for everybody. So Cipla can sell the goods all over India, but without opening office. So that's a win-win for them. That's a victory for them. For selling agent, he is getting commission. So that's a victory for them. So both the party will benefit from these sort of arrangements. Okay, that's the reason many people get into these sort of consignment arrangements. Fine now. Alright, but who's the owner of the goods? Do remember that? Who's the owner of the goods? Consignor only. Okay. Now, I'll ask you one basic question. Let's see how well you want. That way, I'll get to know whether you have understood this example properly or not. Now, Cipla Limited sent goods worth 1 lakh to selling agents. That is consignee. Cipla sent 1 lakh worth of goods to this consignee. The moment they send the goods, can Cipla can they treat it as a sale and pass sales ka journal entry? Cipla has sent the goods to the consignee worth 1 lakh. Consignee has not yet sold the goods. He has just received the goods worth 1 lakh. Can Cipla go ahead and pass the journal entry for sales of 1 lakh rupees? No. Cipla can pass the journal entry of sale, or it will be treated as a sale only when consignee sells the product. Okay. Only when consignee sells the products further, only then it will be treated as a sale. So at this point of time, it will become a sale. When you are sending the goods, it is not a sale. Okay. Instead of Cipla holding the goods in their factory, now the goods is held at consignee ka factory. That's all is the arrangement. Manageable. So on this particular day, it will not become a sale. Okay, so Gulam Saab is saying, sir, how will Cipla know how much of the product is sold? I understood this example, sir. Beautifully you have written. Okay. But how will I get to know whether how much is sold or not? Okay. Normally, what happens is under consignment arrangement, that was, I was about to come to that point before that only you asked off. No problem. You are a little 1 or 2 steps ahead of me. Normally, whenever consigner sends the goods to consignee, he will send something known as per forma invoice. Invoice means bill, sir. Normally, when you sell the goods, you issue the bill, correct? No. When you go and do the shopping, when you buy only, the shopkeeper will give you the bill, correct? No. You went to the mart and you bought a shirt. Only when you buy it, you'll get an invoice. Okay. Here, when consigner sends the goods, he will not give invoice to consignee. He will give something known as per forma invoice to consignee. Per forma invoice means it is like an invoice, but it is not an invoice. Meaning the format will be same, but it is not a sales as such. This is just for the record. There must be one record, saying I've sent this much goods to you. Later on, if there is any problem, correct? So there must be a record. So each time consigner sends the goods, he will send out something known as per forma invoice. In that per forma invoice, he will say, I have sent these many goods to you. Okay, this is the value of the goods, like this. Okay, now that's all is the funda. Got it? So whenever consigner sends the goods, he will send per forma invoice. Meaning per forma invoice is like an invoice. Format is same, but it is not sales. Done. That is one. Next is the consignee also will send a statement. The name of that statement is account sales. Consignee also will send a statement. The name of the statement is account sales. That statement, the statement is sent periodically, maybe weekly, monthly, quarterly, depending on the arrangement you have with the consignee. You can agree on whatever. So periodic statement, consignee also sends it to the consigner. This statement will have content saying how much goods I have sold, how much inventory I have with me, how much you sent me, okay, how much is my commission, how much I need to pay you, correct? All these data will be given in this account sales. Okay, by looking at account sale, consigner can do the accounting. That way accounting can happen. Manageable. Isn't it too tough to record? No, sir. All this is done in a system now. Your ERP can record all this now. Okay, it's not simple. Alright, it's not really that difficult now. Okay, now when you go for audit, when you go for any pharma company audit, if you have gone to know, alright, you will see this is pretty straightforward working only. Don't worry. Okay. Yes, maybe when you go for auditing, you will get to know about this. Not that difficult. Yeah, hang on. Somebody is saying, so what if there is abnormal loss? Hang on. Everything you are thinking will come. We have just started with the topic. I only told the meaning. I have not even started with accounting. There is a whole lot of thing in accounting. Many things will come. Hold on to your doubts. Don't ask any accounting questions now. Because whatever you are thinking, I know it will come any which way. So let's not waste time there. Hang on, Kaiser, for about maybe 1 hour, something you hang on, it will come. Fine, now so far what we have discussed, is it okay with you? We only discussed meaning of consignment. So when you send the goods, what document will be issued? Okay. And consignee will send what documents? So meaning of consignment means consignment is an arrangement between two parties. Consigner, consignee. Consigner is the owner of the goods. The other party, the owner will send the goods to some other party. That some other party we call it as consignee, or in simple term, agent. Okay. Now agent, after receiving the goods from consigner, he will sell it to the customers. Okay. Once consignee sells the goods, you can treat it as a sales. Till that time, it will not be treated as a sales. Okay. So whenever consigner gives the goods or sends the goods to the consignee, consigner will issue one document. The name of the document is per forma invoice. Okay, not a bill, not a sales bill. It is like an invoice, but not an invoice, like that. Okay. And even consignee will send one document or one statement to consigner. That document we call it as account sales. That will have various information, commission, sales, goods, etc. That's all is a funda. Okay. Now, sometimes they also ask 2 mark theory question from this topic also, that we will cover it. Okay. Then we will get to, mostly they will ask numerical question, but just in case they decide to ask some theoretical question, I brought in some theory concepts also. So let's look at that. What is the difference between consignment arrangement and normal sales arrangement? Normal sales go, consignment go, is there any difference or both are same? There is a difference. What are the differences? In consignment arrangement, there will be 2 parties. What are the 2 parties? Consigner, which I am calling it as CR. Consignee, which I am calling it as CE. So in consignment, you will have consigner and consignee. But in normal sales arrangement, you'll have buyer and seller. That is one main difference. Second one, the ownership of the goods will belong to the consignor. Just because consignor sent the goods to consignee will not become owner of the goods. The owner of the goods is still consignor only. Okay, just that the goods are there in consignee's factories. That's all. Owner is still consignor. But the moment buyer purchase the goods from the seller, buyer will automatically become the owner. Meaning, will ownership on sale, ownership will automatically be transferred to the buyer. Here, ownership is not transferred to consignee. It is still with the consignor. That is another difference. Okay. And consignor bears the loss of the goods. If held with a consignee, if something happens to that goods, okay, consignor will bear the loss. This is subjective. It could be based on agreement also. Okay. Fair enough, but this is a general rule they are giving. Consignor bears the loss of the goods. And here when they say loss of the goods, they are more talking about technological loss, not the physical loss. Okay. Like that goods has become outdated. No customer is buying the goods now. Consignor sent some goods to consignee. Consignee is trying his best to sell the goods, but that goods has become outdated. Okay. Now will consignor tell consignee, no, you have to buy it. It is your problem. Okay. You buy it now. Can consignor put that headache to consignee now? What will consignee tell? Yo, Golo. Yes, no. You can put it. What will he say? Okay. If it is sold means, okay, the money belongs to you. If it is not sold means loss belongs to you. Don't put it on my head. That's the reason we say consignor bears the loss. Manageable. If there is physical loss and all, then you need to check the agreement. But this is, they have given a general note. Like consignee stole it off. Okay, he stored the goods in factory. He forgot to lock the factory. So goods got stolen. Now do you think consignor will say, no problem, I will bear the loss? Now will consignor say, no problem, you don't lock your factory. That is what I expected from you. I will only bear the loss. He will tell like that. No. This time he may say, your mistake. Yes, no. So again, this you have to use practicality. This is a general rule they have given over here. But practically you need to look at the agreement and then decide there. Okay. Fine. Alright. But in case of the sale arrangement, the buyer will bear any loss. Buyer will bear the loss. Correct? No, like that. Okay. Yes. Now after you buy the goods, you can't do anything. No. Now you are attending my class. People are telling, we are not understanding anything. Chumma is drilling. You can't do anything. You are enrolled now, Papa. Nothing you are understanding. Still with the hope you will understand, you are sitting. Correct? No. Is it that scenario or are you understanding? Alright. Are you understanding, Asaru? Okay. They're saying, no, understanding, sir. Understanding. Okay. Thanks. Alright. Next relationship is that between consignor and consignee, there is principal-agent relationship. But between buyer and seller, there is debtor-creditor relationship. So those are some differences. Okay. Generally, if at all they may ask for about 2 to 3 marker. Just know this contents ka table, it is good enough. Not come often, just preparing it to you. Okay, if at all they ask. As we told, we made a commitment. Everything we will cover. Theory, practical, whatever. We give equal importance to everything. And that's how we can say we are fully prepared for examination. Like that. Okay, next is commission versus discount. There is some difference between commission and discount also. What are the difference? Commission, when do you get, sir? If you want to earn some commission, you have to give some service. Yes, no? Yes. Like consignee, only if he sells the goods, he will get commission. That means that is the service consignee has to give to get the commission. But when do you get discount? When do you get discount? Discount you get for prompt payment, right? If you're paying early or if you're making a bulk purchase, you get allowance. That allowance we call it as discount. Yes. So that way, there is a primary distinction. Their whole meaning and their whole scenario is only different. Okay, fine. That is the primary definition difference between commission and an agent. Commission and rather discount. Then there are types of commission, which we will, I'll study in a bit. For now, just know the names. There are 3 types of commission which they will give you in this consignment arrangement. One is ordinary commission, normal. Then there is del credere commission. For now, just know the meaning. Each of it we will discuss in a bit. There is also something known as overriding commission. These are the 3 types of commission you could have. Similarly, you can also have 2 types of discount. What are the 2 types of discount we have already studied, sir? Trade discount and cash discount. Yes, trade discount you get for bulk payments or bulk purchase. Cash discount you get it for early payment. Yes, if you pay it early, you're going to get some cash discount. For trade discount, do you pass journal entry? Yeah? No, that is another difference. Trade discount is not accounted as a journal entry in books, but it is reduced from the invoice price. But commission is definitely accounted. For the guy paying the commission, it is an expense. For the guy receiving the commission, it is an income. Now you tell me for whom the commission is an expense in this consignment arrangement. For whom commission is an expense, for whom commission is an income. Or for consignor, what is it? Is it E as an expense or I as an income? For consignor, it is E as an expense. For consignee, it is I as an income. Okay, that's a funda. So, but accounting is a must for that. But trade discount, you need not do the accounting. So that is some differences between commission and discount again there. Alright. Okay, this is the format of consignment account. Normally from this topic, this is what you can expect in the examination. Consignment account. What and all, this is basically a ledger. What and all comes into this ledger, I have brought everything into the format. Okay, so that last day, if you don't have time to go through any problems, you can run through the format and revise it within like 2 to 3 minutes. Okay, so I can't discuss everything here because we'll have to learn everything. So some portion of it I will discuss. Remaining things, as in when we do the problem, you learn everything there. Okay, 1 minute, hang on. I'll see if there's anything I can cover before I go into the problems. Okay, I think maybe commission we can discuss it off. Okay, commission and account sales we'll discuss it off. Then we will do one problem to understand how that consignment account we need to work out. Okay, just now I told there are 3 types of commission here we'll come across, no sir. One is ordinary commission, other one is del credere commission, third one is overriding commission. Okay, ordinary commission. Ordinary commission is calculated as a fixed percentage of total sales. Like they will tell, consignee, let's say, sold goods worth 1 lakh rupees, or he sold the product at 1 lakh. As per the agreement, let's say consignee has to get 10% commission on the sale value. Sale value is 1 lakh, commission is 10%. So how much will be this? 10,000. This we call it as ordinary commission. That's all. Okay. Whatever value of the goods the consignee has sold, on that you calculate. They would have given you commission percentage in the problem. Multiply, you're going to get the commission value. This we call it as ordinary commission. Sales value multiplied by commission percentage will give you the commission amount. Pretty straightforward. Yes. Second one is something known as del credere commission. First, I will read it once, or maybe once. Hang on, maybe I'll explain it off only. Better it is, I think. Sir, let's say A Limited. A Limited is the consignor, okay? He has sent goods worth 10 lakh rupees to, let's say, Z Limited. And Z Limited is the consignee. Okay. Now, what will Z Limited do? After he receives the goods, he will start selling it to the customers. Correct? That's how the arrangement works. Now, my one question to you, one basic question to you is, which type of sale would Z Limited like to make, sir? There are 2 types of sales. Yes, cash sale, credit sale. Okay, I am asking you practically, logically, Z Limited will sell these goods to the customer on a cash basis or on a credit basis. What do you think he will prefer? Cash. Why not credit? Perfect. Answer is cash. Why? Look at the scenario, sir. Now, once Z Limited sells the goods, let's say he sold the goods. Once Z Limited sells the goods, customers will pay. Correct? Customer will pay 10 lakh rupees to Z Limited. Can Z Limited keep entire money with himself? Can Z Limited keep entire 10 lakh with himself? No. Let's say Z Limited ka commission is a 10%. That means you calculate, sir. It will be how much? 10 lakh ka 10% is how much? 1 lakh rupees. Yes. Let's assume consignee has no other expenses for simplicity. Only this is there. That means what? Will Z Limited give entire 10 lakh to A Limited? No. From this 10 lakh, he will deduct 1 lakh and he will remit how much? 9 lakh to A Limited. That's how this arrangement works. Correct? Huh? Yes. Happy with the way things are gone? Perfect. Okay. Vishal has given me the right answer there. Consignee, will always prefer to sell the goods on a cash basis. Why? Because when he sells the goods on cash, immediately Z Limited will get money. And immediately he will get his commission. Correct? No? Because A Limited is not paying any commission to Z Limited separately. Whatever money customer pays, from that Z Limited will deduct his commission and pay the balance to A Limited. That is how consignment arrangements are agreed upon. Manageable. If consignee sells the goods on cash, that means immediately he will get his commission. So that means consignee will always prefer to sell on a cash basis. That funda, did you understand? Because he'll get his commission earlier if he sells the goods on cash. That is the reason. Others are also okay now. Yes? Now look at the point, sir. Z Limited wants to sell the goods on cash basis because he will get commission earlier. If you sell on a cash basis, do you think every customer will buy it from you? Do you think every customer will buy from Z Limited if Z Limited tells only cash basis? Will more customers buy from Z Limited? No. Customer prefer what sales? Customers will prefer credit sales. Yes, no? Because they want to delay the payment as much as possible. Because everybody has money problems. Okay? They want to keep the money as much as possible with their business. Okay? So, but here Z Limited prefers cash basis. So, due to this tug of war, some customers A Limited may lose out. Okay? Alright, due to this tug of war, consignee wants cash, customer wants credit. Due to this difference of opinion, some customers A Limited may lose out. Hence, what A Limited will do is, okay, consignee, hang on. I know that you are preferring credit sales. Okay, I know you prefer cash sales. I will give you something known as del credere commission. I will give you some extra commission known as del credere commission. Meaning, if you sell the goods on a credit basis, I will give you one extra commission known as del credere commission. Okay, that is the meaning of del credere commission. Did you get it? Now, consignee will say, then no problem. Then no problem. Okay, if you're giving me commission, no, then fine. Except, so basically, alright, del credere commission is given to encourage the consignee to do more of credit sales. That's the funda. Okay. So it's basically an extra commission. Other than ordinary commission, some extra commission you pay. That extra commission, we call it as del credere commission, given to encourage the consignee to do more and more of credit sales. That's it. Okay. By doing this, what is the benefit for the owner? If Z Limited starts selling the goods on credit, more customers will buy. If more customers are buying means, I'll be able to do more sales. No? Yes. A Limited will have more sales. More sales means more profit. Correct or no, sir? That is the benefit. That's all is the benefit. Got it? Don't think we send the goods only one time. All this goods on a recurring basis. We keep sending the goods. So this goes on happening. All this arrangement is not one time. It's not only once you send it and leave it off. This is an ongoing arrangement. Okay. Fine. Okay, now Rohanji. Okay, what if consignee sells goods on credit without del credere commission? He can sell. That is okay. It's not necessary del credere commission has to be given. All these are agreements. Fine. If it is there, we say it is given to encourage credit sales. That's it. Okay, 1 minute. All right. Now what happens is there is only one funda. Check further. Now, if A Limited is giving some extra commission, okay, don't you think A Limited will also put some condition? Just like that, A Limited will give it offer, or they will have their own conditions. They'll have also their conditions. Why? See, Z Limited is anyway getting commission, no? He will start selling the goods on credit left, right, center to every customer. Hey, come, I have goods. Take my goods. Pay after 2 months. To every damn customer, whether he has money, he wants the product or not, he will start selling. Yes or no? Because he wants to earn more. Correct? If he starts selling the goods to invalid customers, like our Nirav Modi, Vijay Mallya and all, then it will be a huge loss for A Limited. Correct? No? If customers does not pay, then it is a problem, no sir. Correct? Hence, what generally we do is, whenever a del credere commission is given, okay, we tell the consignee, if any customer does not pay, then you have to bear the bad debt risk. Because you found the customer, no? You selected the customer, select them wisely. Left, right, center, don't select. Okay. If you want more commission, no problem, I'll give you. But sell it to the credit worthy customers. Okay. Fair enough. So if you are selling it to some ere customers and if you are making any loss, that bad debts you need to bear. Okay. So bad debt risk should be taken up by consignee if this commission is given to the consignee. So if we are giving del credere commission, then bad debt is the headache of consignee. Can I say like that? If del credere commission is given, then bad debt is the headache of consignee. If this commission is not given, if this del credere commission is not given, then bad debt is the headache of A Limited, consignor, like that. Okay, they will mention clearly in the problem whether is this del credere commission is given or not given. If they don't mention the word del credere, don't assume. Fine. If it is given clearly, they will specify. If they just use the word commission, it is always ordinary commission. Got it? Fine now. That is all is the funda about this. And just because it is given on credit sales, don't calculate this commission on credit sales. It is calculated on total sales only. Again, it depends on agreement. But in our problem, del credere commission, we always calculate it on total sales only. There's another problem specific adjustment. Practically, it may depend on the agreement. Okay. But here for our problems, for our examination, we will calculate it only on the total sales. Like that. These are the 3 pointers you need to remember for del credere commission. Okay, Naji. Everyone fine? Yes. Okay, then there is another point known as overriding commission. So basically, overriding commission is also an extra commission. It is given to promote sales at a higher price. Like here in this example, continuing. What is the value of the goods I've sold, sir? What have I told the customer? A Limited, what has A Limited told Z Limited? Sell the product at 10 lakh rupees. Yes, that's the arrangement A Limited had told. You sell this product at 10 lakh rupees. Basically, this is the invoice price or the selling price. Agreed? Yes. Okay. Z Limited did a market survey. Okay. Fine. He's saying there is a potential I can sell it at a higher price. You asked me to sell it at 10 lakh, no? But in our area, there is a potential. I can sell it for 12 lakh rupees. I can sell it for 2 lakh extra. A Limited is saying, full kush, hey, that is great, man. Great, dude. Great. Awesome. Keep it up. That's all. What do you think Z Limited will tell? I will not sell it at 12 lakh rupees. I will sell it at 10 only. He asked why. See, if I sell it at 12 lakh rupees, what's in it for me? Then A Limited told, okay, boss. If you sell it at a price higher than 10 lakh rupees, I will give you some extra commission. That extra commission, we call it as overriding commission. Meaning, if consignee is selling the goods at a price higher than invoice price, then he will get some extra commission. That extra commission, we call it as overriding commission. That's it. Okay. More than invoice price. Correct. That's all is a funda. Got it? Anyway, in the problem, clearly they mention what sort of commission is it. If they just mention the word commission, always take ordinary commission. If it is overriding and del credere, clearly they will use some words. We will see in the problem. Don't worry about that. We have almost 14-15 problems we need to do in this particular chapter. Aram se you will get it. No issues there. So now commission ka funda, is it okay for everybody? How can they sell it for more than MRP? No. This is your goods, Noda. Now, I am giving you coaching classes. Can I decide the price for the product? You are taking coaching from ArivuPro. Can ArivuPro decide the price? Can ArivuPro decide the price at what to give you? Same like this. If product belongs to A Limited, they have a funda, no? Yes. They can decide the pricing on it. Okay, don't worry about that. Done, sir? Alright. Next, this is about commission. Next is account sales. You know, we already read this term, account sale. Does it ring a bell? Does this term ring a bell? Or yes, have you heard about this somewhere? Yes. Who sends account sale? Who sends the statement known as account sale? Consignee will sell it to the consignor. Yes. Fine. So these are basically contents. What does the account sale have is what I've called out here. One, it will have something known as how much goods has been sold by consignee. So details will be given. If any expense is incurred by consignee, like transportation cost, any selling cost, right? If any other expense is there, that data will be put up in this particular statement. How much commission consignee has to get? How much is the commission earned also will be given. How much unsold inventory. Suppose consignee received 100 units, but he sold only 80 units. That means how much is remaining? 100 में से 80 sold means 20 is remaining. So in this statement we will say, okay, 20 inventory is still with me, I have not yet sold. That also we will include in this account sales. And also if any advance payment is made by consignee to consignor. This generally will be there in practically almost all consignment arrangement. See here is, now you think practically, sir. A Limited is sending goods worth 10 lakh rupees to Z Limited, no? Just like that, we will give 10 lakh, 1 crore worth of goods to consignee without asking anything in return. No, generally what will we tell Z Limited? You keep some fixed deposit with me or you keep some advance with me, yes or no? That arrangement will generally be there. So there is a possibility that consignee might have already given some advance to consignor. So if that is being given means that details also will be mentioned in this particular statement. Okay. And how much finally consignee has to pay to the consignor, the final balance due, that also will be called out. Okay. So these are some of the contents of account sales. Any confusions? Anybody? No confusion, huh? Okay, let's do a thing. Let's take a break for about 20 minutes. We'll come back and we will learn one particular. Anyway, it's not only one problem. We have 13 problems. Don't worry. Okay. So we'll take a break and we'll come back. No issues. Okay, guys. 20 minutes ke baad we'll catch up. Thank you.